Welcome back to TCBC Ride Leader Training. With our event created and now approved, the time has come to schedule a ride. So in this video, we're going to go ahead, schedule a ride based off of the event that we created in the previous episode. So we'll start by first going to the event that we had created. We can do this by clicking on the calendar icon and going to My Events. And in this case, you'll now see that there's a number of events that I've created in the past here. But the event that we're looking for in particular here is Monday evenings to Stillwater. And now that the event has been approved, as you can see here, we can now go ahead and schedule a ride based off of this event. Remember in the previous episode, we said that we can go ahead and edit the event if we need to add ride leaders, maybe add a new ride start location. But in this case, we're talking about scheduling a ride. So when we click on schedule, the first thing that we're going to see is that all of the values have been inherited from the club event, and now is when we go ahead and actually schedule the details of the ride. So in this case, we'll go ahead, since it's a Monday evening ride, the first thing that you're going to notice is that the ride date is going to default to the first available, in this case, Monday, since that's what we set up in the event, that the ride can be held. So we'll go ahead and schedule it for Monday, and we will go ahead and start it at a default early time of 4 p.m. All of our information from before is still accurate. So one of the things that we do need to select, though, is what our ride type is going to be. And because over the course of a season, it may go from a more leisurely ride to a more intense ride, or maybe we want to have it a more leisurely ride, this is something that we need to set every time that we're scheduling a ride. In this case, this is going to be a pretty relaxed ride. Our mileage is going to be about 30 miles. Again, this number doesn't have to be perfect, but it's not a range anymore. It should be what the primary ride distance is of the ride now. The ride leaders, you're going to select only the people who are going to lead the ride. So it's going to default and say all of the ride leaders, but in this case, I'm going to be the only one actually leading the ride. So I will uncheck the other ride leaders that could potentially lead rides based off of this event. My start location is still accurate. And now in the next two boxes, this is the Ride with GPS integration that we have to the RideStat software. So we can enter a GPS route in one of two ways. Now entering a GPS route is not a requirement of leading a TCBC ride, although it is becoming increasingly common. So if I've created a ride in Ride with GPS that is not part of the club account, I can go ahead and just enter the URL to the Ride with GPS file here. However, I have created a ride a Ride with GPS map for this ride already, so I'm going to go ahead and use the drop-down box. And in this case, I can start typing in the information, and in this case I am going to go, and it looks like my ride's actually 32, so I'll adjust that, but I'm going to go ahead, select this, and now what it will do is it will add the Ride with GPS link to the map and to the GPX file in my ride. I can confirm that the link is correct by clicking on the button, and this would actually go ahead and take me to the Ride with GPS route so that I could view it beforehand if I needed to do so. Because I put a good description in my event, I don't feel like I need to further edit the description at this point. So that's all that's to it. You can see it's very simple now that once I have the default template set up in my event, scheduling the ride is a breeze. And at this point, I'm ready to go. So I'm going to submit it to the calendar. In this case, I don't want to submit any more rides, so I can say I'm done. And at this point, I can now jump over to the calendar, refresh the calendar. I need to jump back to April here. But there's my ride, Monday evenings to Stillwater. And when I click on this, you can now see that my email from a previous episode, we talked about how to add the contact information to the ride leader. We can see that the route link is available, The Ride with GPS link is available. All my information is ready to go. Thanks for watching, and in our next episode, we're going to fast forward ahead to after a ride and talk about how to enter the mileage and enter the information on the completed ride. You're going to find that that's a breeze as well. Hope to see you then.